Hey there, everybody. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So, welcome to the SpinSheet Happy Hour,
The
uh,
lunchtime edition.
lunchtime edition. Hi, Molly. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sharp. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here too.
We're a little bit early this time because of the boat shows next week. I think we were supposed to do this next week, but hey, let's do it
There's a
now.
boat show going on. That's the Power Boat Show is first for those who haven't checked the schedule, and that's where our team will be hanging out at the Power Boat Show. So yeah, we're a week early on SpinSheet Happy Hour, and next month we're going back to our regular 5 o'clock spot. So that gives everybody to look something to look forward to. So stand
Right.
by on dates and guests and stuff like that. But
Exactly. And folks, if you didn't know, the brand new issue of Spin Sheet, the October issue, the boat show issue, just hit the docks yesterday. So go check that out.
yeah.
What are we talking about today, Molly?
We're going to talk about seasonal sail care. Seems a good time for a lot of people are done sailing for the season. Of course, there's a ton of racing going on. Although, as we were discussing before we went live, a lot of it is postponed for over the course of the weekend or canceled. But for the rest of the month, there's a ton of racing going on in the Chesapeake. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the program. But for those who are done with their sailing season or about to wrap it up, they might want to take care of their sales over the winter months or make calls and make their appointments. So we're just going to talk to Ridgely MacKenzie of North Sales, who's been on this program a few times. This is his third time that I can remember, if not his fourth. And he's going to talk to us about sail care and
Awesome.
answer your sail making questions.
Well, before I bring Ridgely on, thank you to Mount Gay for sponsoring this episode of the Spin Sheet Happy Hour. And let's get Ridgely up here.
All right,
Hey,
great.
Ridgely.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi, Ridgely. Thanks for tuning in from Colorado.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
On your day off, you're going to talk about sales.
Yeah, I'm excited to. It's kind of like a everyday thing.
Yeah, we're a little jealous. You're going to have a sunny weekend, and we are not.
It's beautiful out here, 60 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
So what we're going to do is we're gonna sort of fire a few questions with you, give you a chance to talk about seasonal sail care, and give our listeners some tips on what they can do with their sails. We're going to follow that up with a racing update and a Red Hat Photo of the Month and a Cocktail of the Month. So, Sharb, are you going to go behind the scenes or are you going to hang out?
As always, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you on the other side. So, Ridgely, let's start at the beginning for anyone who is not familiar with you. You can give us just a short summary of how you came into knowing about taking care of sails. How did you become a sailmaker?
So, some people could say I started at a young age. Both my parents, my mom was a canvas maker, seamstress for canvas. My father was a sailmaker. My grandfather was a sailmaker. So, kind of grew up around it and just kind of fell into my lap naturally.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so it's fall, it's official, and in fact, I was just saying before we went live that I have socks on right now. It's actually cold in here, and so that means that it's time to think about what you're going to do with your sails over the winter. So, what's your customers be thinking about right now in terms of sail care?
I think the biggest thing is getting your equipment off the boat for the season. Best thing to do is actually physically pull it from the boat and put it in somewhere that's climate controlled. And if you're not inclined to pull your sails off, at least strap everything down so you're not having to go out and check it during storms and everything. But
I'm glad you mentioned that about storms because, I mean, how many times have you looked out the window there at North Sails and seen someone's jib just getting beat to death, you know?
Oh, yeah. I think anybody for this weekend in particular, if you have your Genoa up still, go out and take your spin halyard and wrap it around her just to really make sure she's secured down tight before tomorrow comes in. With sustained winds of 25 to 30, it's pretty rough on that equipment. Truthfully, one of the best things to do is just get your equipment off the boat. When you're doing so, you can kind of look over and see if you have any broken stitching or any little nicks then, and then decide if you need to get the sails into the sail off. Now, if you're not inclined to do that yourself, there's sale offs like us. We offer those services and glad to help with anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you go pick people's sales up, or do they have to come drop them off to you?
We'll do anything on the Chesapeake Bay. I'll travel anywhere.
Mhm.
We have a range. We have people that go down to Southern Virginia all the time and guys on the Eastern Shore constantly. So
Yeah.
we're
Well,
around to help.
anybody wants the phone numbers of the various North Lofts, you can find them in SpinSheet magazine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the mistake that sailors make when it comes to sail care and this season and over the winter months.
One of the biggest mistakes is not having your stuff protected. UV, even in the winter, still does damage to your sails. Like, for example, a UV cover that's taken down every season will last you 7, 8 years, but one that's left up year after year, all year, lasts you 3, 4 years, and she's done. So just those months that you're not using the boat, that's the biggest mistake, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's exposure to the sun and the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure if you're going to leave the stuff on, making sure everything's protected from the sun, protected from moisture, which is really hard to do when you leave it out in the elements. But moisture will get to your sails, cause mold. When it rains down, it'll go down through your head sail roller furler and just kind of creep its way in there and never gets out to dry. So it comes springtime, you have a nice moldy sail.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest mistake. It's just exposure to the elements.
Mm-hmm. How about for people who do leave their boats in the water for the winter, maybe because they frostbite race or they occasionally go sailing in the winter? I have a bunch of friends who do that.
Well, winter's the best time to go sailing. No other boats are out there.
Are you a frostbite racer?
Oh yeah, I love frostbiting. It's definitely a favorite.
Okay. Well, I know that you are also an RC boat sailor, so I thought maybe you shifted over to remote control only in the winter, but
That's Sunday morning, and then frostbite starts around noon. So.
oh, okay, got it. So you've got time to do both. You can manage both in one day. Any tips for people who leave their boats in the water? I mean, how do you protect your boat from all those things when you leave your boat in the water, or can you?
I mean, a good winter cover. I don't really recommend shrink wrapping. It's not ideal. If you're gonna have your boat for a while, investing in a good winter cover that you can put on when the boat's in the water, that's really nice. That will protect all your equipment, except for your head sail. Now, if you want to do some sailing over the winter and you're thinking that, hey, I'm going to wait for that 60-degree day and I'm going to take my boat out, just put a little extra effort into it and drop your head sail after you're done sailing. So then you may not get that 60-degree day and you may not see your boat for another couple months. So I think it's just knowing how much you're going to use it and understanding it's only a little bit extra effort to just remove the sail and put it away for a couple weeks when you're not there. Plus a big ease of mind. So.
Yeah. So do people need to make an appointment?
No, anybody can come in at really any time. I mean, email, let me know that you're dropping your sail off. Let me know that you want us to pick it up. But we have a drop box. You can drop off the sail. We get back bogged down in the winter time, so sometimes it may take a week or two to get back to you. But chances are, if you're dropping it off in the winter, you're not asking for it the next day.
Yeah.
So, no, it's necessary.
Have you had any sort of crazy stories of people just neglecting their sails and they're surprised they're not lasting?
Yeah, I mean, there's some mistakes where people will have their sails furled inside out, and they don't realize because their UV color's white and their sails Dacron, so they're both white. You can't really distinguish what side's what without having an experienced eye on it. That, or when you take your sails down in the winter time, you've done a great job. Just take it one step further and don't put it in your barn. Put it somewhere where mice aren't going to get to it, rodents won't climb in. They love the sails. They'll chew them up, create little nests, have babies, and you'll have a mess to deal with.
It's
Well, actually, we'll have
an expensive mouse ecosystem you've created. You know.
exactly. So if you're going to go that far, go one step further and take it really out of the elements. Put it somewhere climate controlled, your basement if you have that opportunity. And I mean, worst comes to worst, just leave it down below on the boat. Chance of a mouse getting on there is pretty slim.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're going to leave it in your barn, I would just leave it in your boat. That kind of thing.
How about sail repair? Do you guys get slammed in the winter with sail repair, or do you get slammed in the spring and kind of wish you could flatten it out a little and have more in November and December? How does that work?
Both. So we'll get slammed. Probably my intake will be about 800 to 1,000 sails from middle of October, right after boat show ends, till January 1st. We'll take in, I would say, about 800 sails, and then a slow trickle in from that point on. We're trying as hard as we can to get them all out when everybody needs them. Then you get the people that decide that they waited a little longer and then they bring it in the spring. Ideally, it's a first come, first serve world. So bringing it in earlier is better always.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard from, and this isn't from sailmakers, this is from service people that, somewhere around April 1st, there are people who go, oh my gosh, it's going to be nice in 2 weeks. I want my boat ready, like now. And and they think they're going to be able to turn it around in a couple of days. And that's just not in the real world at all.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I was just reading this comment from Bob Murphy here.
Yeah. When you're done answering my question, well, feel free to pop up Bob Murphy's question so that everyone can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you repeat that? I got distracted.
I'm distracted too. Let's just put Bob's question up there. My mainsail is a roller furling, and most people I notice will keep them on over the winter. I take mine off and fill the mast with pipe insulation to stop banging sounds. What are your thoughts of removal? Tips? Do you have any tips?
So removal for the pipe insulation, or the tips for removing the roller furling main and keeping the banging. I think you're doing the best thing that you could possibly do. It's a lot of work, but that's the pipe insulation is really what stops the banging, because the mandrels inside the mast are loose. One trick we try and do, it's not 100% successful, is you tie the out haul to the shackle of where the main halyard, or the shackle for the main halyard, and you raise that about halfway up your mast, and then you pull the out haul tight, and that's pulling the mandrel back against the back slot of the mast to take away some of that slop. But there's still slop and there's still noise, so the pipe insulation is hands down the best thing you can do.
All right, Bob, you get an A+. You're already doing the right thing. Is there anything else that you'd like sailors to know about the season, and what they should do or what they should not procrastinate?
Don't procrastinate taking your sails off or having us take your sails off. One of the worst things for us is going to a boat with snow on it. It's not fun. It's painful. Especially if you have like a laminate sail, leaving your sails out to where it's freezing outside, you're opening yourself up to some damage. So just don't procrastinate on getting your sails off if you're not going to sail in the winter. And I think if you're going to put your boat on the hard, don't leave your sails up on the hard. A lot of marinas won't let you do that, or highly recommend that you don't do that, because if your Genoa were to unfurl, they could knock your boat over, and you have much bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah.
So just
originally, if you've been essentially doing this your whole life, you've seen some changes in sailmaking, materials and all kinds of things. Can you speak to that just a little bit? This is just curiosity on my part.
Yeah, I mean, one of the coolest things, I was just out in our 3DI plant in Minden, and that was mind-blowing. I've been working for North Sails for a total of about 6 years, and I never really got to see this firsthand, and I got to see something where we start with a ball of yarns, essentially, aramid, carbon, polyester, and turn it in from a ball of yarns that just comes into a roll. We turn that all the way into a sail, and it gets built over a mold. It's probably one of the most impressive things. We have a lot of links on our YouTube channel about that. Check it out. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most advanced sail making technology out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had the good fortune of going out there and getting a tour of the place, and it's it's really clean, state of the art. I mean, it's really interesting. So pretty fascinating stuff. And there were some super yacht sails in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was there, they were putting together a Genoa for a 150 footer, and they also had a boat team 111 and a couple other just massive boat sails. It's really impressive. It's such a cool thing to see firsthand.
Absolutely. So, do you have any? I see that one of our regulars, Jane Durden. Hi, Jane. Thanks for being here. She's trying to figure out what sort of a new mainsail she needs for her boat. For people who are considering new sails, first of all, I would say they probably should come visit you at the boat show, right? But if they're not going to make it for the boat show, to come and talk to you guys, what else do you recommend while they're considering new sails?
I think the best thing to do is really get with one of our sales experts and go kind of take a deep dive into what kind of sailing you do. What are you looking for? Are you looking for just weekend cruising? Are you looking for just day sailing? Are you going around the world? Talking with one of our sales experts they'll help you identify what you need, what kind of sailing you do, and really put you in the right direction.
And are there, I have a hybrid bike, and like sort of the jokes about hybrids are they're not really good at anything, because you're trying to combine, speed and going slow and all that kind of stuff. There's sort of hybrid sails for people who are racers and cruisers. I'm thinking about Jane in particular. I know she does about all of it. I don't know about her sailing around the world on her boat, but I think she has a job and some kids, so that's probably not on our immediate agenda. But she does race and cruise. Is there a hybrid kind of a sail for that?
Absolutely. I mean, our 3DI Ocean series is very much geared towards the hybrid of like a racer cruiser. You get all the performance that you get out of a molded sail, but with a little bit cheaper materials that are used to build the sail. You're not putting carbon in there. You're more polyester, more aramid, Dyneema. So I would say the 3DI Ocean Sails series is the hybrid. But I mean, really, any sail from North Sails you could go and race with. They're all hybrids. It's just depends on your level of racing.
Yeah. And how about your racing schedule? You doing anything fun over the winter we should know about?
I'm going down to Davis Island a couple times, and then
Is it still there?
To Miami. Well, that's to be determined, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I saw a picture from there. I hope. I mean, it's a really nice place to sail out of. I hope they didn't sustain a lot of damage, but. And will you be sailing what, like J70s? You said.
Yeah, I'll sail J70s for Davis Island, Charleston, and in Miami. That's pretty much my winter schedule. It's light, but that's a good thing because we'll have a lot of work.
Well, that's good because a lot of people are going to be bringing their sails to you right after this program. So, any parting words, Ridgely? Anything before we set you free to go hiking out there in Colorado? Any parting words for sailors watching the program?
I just really think it's be proactive. Don't wait till the last second to do anything. If you're not going to use your boat, take your sails off. I even recommend customers in the summertime. If you're not going to sail for the month of August, that last time you're there in July, take it down. The UV's so strong in the summer months that if you're not using it, it's kind of ruining it. But other than that, get out and have fun. Use your equipment. Let us know what you need help with. So.
All right, Ridgely, thank you for coming back to SpinSheet Happy Hour. It's always great to talk to you about sailing stuff, and really appreciate your insights on sail care. And I think people don't want to hear they want to take their sails down because it's work, it's heavy, and sometimes it requires some help, or you need your crew there. And I can see why it gets procrastinated, but I've heard you drive that point home before. And so hopefully some people take that seriously. And,
yeah, it's important. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you, Richly, and we'll see you at the boat show. In the meantime, you go have some fun out there in Colorado, and we'll see you at the usual spot, right? Which do you know the name of your dock where you guys?
But it's Sailmakers Row, right in front of the Fleet Reserve Club, on the floating dock. Actually, shame on me because I don't know the spot location offhand.
Well, I think most of our listeners they'll be headed toward the Fleet Reserve for a beer and a pit beef anyway, so they'll stop by. You're right on the corner, and we look forward to seeing you there. So go enjoy Colorado. We're going to do a quick racing update and talk a little bit about the October issue, and we'll see you soon, Ridgely. We'll see you around the neighborhood.
Sounds good. See you soon.
All right, we're going to do some of the things you'll find in the October issue if you have not yet seen it. Sharp, if you want to put up, it's championship season on the Chesapeake Bay, and it seems that one of the first championships of the season is postponed, and that's the ILCA, formerly Laser Masters Championship, which was supposed to have taken place this weekend at the Fishing Bay Yacht Club, and that has been postponed. So if we talk about any upcoming regattas, please go straight to the regatta website and look for updates, because I have not had time to update the SpinSheet calendar. So, but anyway, it's an exciting season on the Chesapeake, and I'm gonna talk about particular regattas, but this picture right here is by Dan Phelps, and those of you who are big SpinSheet fans will know you don't see many Dan Phelps photos anymore because he has moved from the area. But this photo was taken in 2009, and that was the last time we had a major J24 regatta on the Chesapeake. It was the J24 Worlds. And coming up at the end of the month, we have the J24 North American Championships, which is one of the regattas we're really excited about. And it's going to run concurrently with the J22 East Coast Championships. So look out for stuff on our Facebook page, but also look in the magazine, and in the November and December issues, we're going to have recaps of the championships on the Chesapeake. So the Crab Cup took place in August. That was a really wonderful regatta. They had a record number of entries, and this is a photo by Will Keyworth of the crab class. And those are Beneteau First 22As, and those are adaptive sailboats. And those who know crab know it's Chesapeake region accessible boating, and that was really a wonderful regatta. And you'll find the recap in the October issue of SpinSheet. The A2C Lighthouse Challenge took place last month. That's the Annapolis to Cambridge Lighthouse Challenge. That was a first-time effort. It was a very successful regatta. I really like this picture of the eyelifts on Muskrat, especially because they're flying the U flag. But check out our recap of that also in the October issue. The Fishing Bay Yacht Club Stingray Point Regatta was run over Labor Day weekend as usual, and they had really nice conditions. They had better wind down there than we did up in Annapolis that weekend. And thanks to Paul Almany, who always is very generous with his photos. They're lucky to have him down there at Fishing Bay Yacht Club because he's always sharing great regatta photos. So thank you to Paul. The Naval Academy Sailing Squadron's Oxford race ran last month and mid-month, and unfortunately the wind petered out, but it didn't stop 100 competitors from doing the race. I know that some of them turned and burned, but on the Chesapeake Bay, when we have 100 competitors in a regatta, that is a really successful regatta even before it gets started. So congratulations to the Naval Academy Sailing Squadron. Thanks to Will Keyworth for the photos. For anyone who doesn't already know, check out spinsheet.com/photos to see all of our regatta photos for the year. The Harbor 20 Class Championship took place last month. You'll find a recap in the October issue of SpinSheet. And we like this photo by Will Keyworth. It's nice to get Tucker Thompson out crewing, and his team came in second. You'll find that in the recap in October issue. The Hospice Cup. These are a bunch of J105 sailors at the awards party. We highlighted the J105s in particular because they have really been huge supporters of the Hospice Cup. And right there in the middle holding an award is Cedric Lewis, and his team on Team Mirage came in first in that regatta. And you'll find the recap in our October edition. And here, okay, we can go back to that later. We'll just do a regular racing update here. I'm not going to read all these regattas off. You guys can look at the list. You can find the full list. I mean, there are so many regattas in October, I couldn't fit them all here. But the highlights of this, first of all, you should know that any regatta this weekend, it seems that most of them are postponed or canceled. I learned right before we came on the broadcast that the AYC Fall Series is canceled for this weekend. The Race to Rock Hall, they've canceled the party. They're still iffy on the race. The Hospice Turkey Shoot, which is another huge regatta, they were pushing 100 entries. That is postponed. They're going to be running that on October 14th. So please go to the individual websites for these regattas to find out their schedule. I included the Great Chesapeake Bay Schooner Race on here. I know it's not a CBYRA sanctioned regatta, and that's usually what we focus on here, but it's a little early this year. It's on October 6th. It's during the Powerboat Show. So if you have a chance to go out and spectate, that's happening. And the day before, if you'd like to head up to Baltimore for the Parade of Sail, that's something that's really cool. Also in Baltimore, the Charm City Regatta Regatta, that's on October 8th. And then the championship regattas are sort of packed at the end of October. So it's an exciting October to come up. And that go ahead and put that Mount Gay Red Hat of the Month photo up. This is Team Mirage. I wanted to, even though this might not be our most spectacular photo we have of Team Mirage, this is one that I liked, and we at least have one red hat in it. The reason I wanted to give them a shout out, they didn't just take first in their class at the Hospice Cup, which they regularly do in the J105 class, but they won 5 awards, I believe, at the regatta, including the top team, the top team fundraising award. And Cedric Lewis and Frederick Salveson are the owners of this boat. Cedric is also on the board of the Hospice Cup, so he puts in a lot of his time to the Hospice Cup. Also in the blue visor is Molly Wilmer, who is new to the board of the Hospice Cup, was hugely helpful this year. This regatta raised $100,000 for a one-day regatta. It's really an impressive thing. So thanks to Team Mirage for all of their fundraising. And by the way, this is not a Mark Hergen photo. This is an Al Schreitmuller photo, and that's my mistake because I switched photos at the end. But anyway, thanks to Al Schreitmuller for the photo, and thanks to Team Mirage. I mean, it's one thing to win a regatta, but to win the party by raising so much money for a good cause, that's sort of winning with a capital W. So thanks to Team Mirage. And now it's time for our Mount Gay Cocktail of the Month.
I love that. I love it. I just like the music, really.
Is that what we were serving at Shea Sharb at 5 o'clock tonight?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that would be a happy Friday right there.
So exactly. Might just start a little early.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Molly. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Thank you to Mount Gay Rum for sponsoring this episode. And hey, let's hope to see you guys at the boat show. Come by our booth. It's Land Space 19. Right
by the main gate.
Right by the main gate. So,
right in the flood zone.
yeah, let's hope that
We're
doesn't
not going to have
happen.
a flood this year. No floods.
No.
Not at all. No.
But anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Molly.
All right.
And,
Happy Friday. Go check out our October issue. It's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Bye, guys.